Today is an exciting milestone for the Hourly to Exit podcast. This is episode 100, and it is also the last episode, at least for now. I'll be taking the summer off, and when I return in the fall, we will have a new title and a new brand that reflects the evolution of my thinking over the last 3 years. It's hard to believe it's been 3 years since I started the podcast. So I love to talk about the hourly to exit journey, moving from that unscalable hourly billing model to moving to a revenue model that is scalable and to build a business that we can hopefully sell someday. But if you've been hanging around here for a little while, you know that my focus has really been on the legal protections required to create leverage. So, no protection, no leverage. That has been kind of the drum I've been beating on a lot. And so, looking forward, expect to find a lot more information that stays in my lane, which is that legal protection regarding creating leverage. It's better for you. I can really give you a lot more value if I'm focusing on your questions. And I get lots of questions about how to make sure you're protecting your expertise. And it also helps me better define my market position. The hourly to exit title, great title, love that title. But people think I'm an exit planner sometimes, or they think I'm a business coach, and I am not. I am a lawyer. So, speaking of business coaches and exit planners, those are great referral partners. I love working with them. It is not possible to build a scalable or saleable expertise-based business without having those legal protections in place using the power of intellectual property law and contracts. So we make perfect partners. I just love the title, Hourly Exits. It's so cool and I really like it. But at the end of the day, I really do want to make sure, being clear is always better than being clever. I know a wise man told me that. I think it was Jonathan Stark, actually. And speaking of which, when I first chose the title Hourly Exit, it was in response to something that Jonathan said about creating that solar system that you talk about. And when you are starting a podcast, you're thinking, how am I going to find enough topics to talk about? Looking at this blank screen of deciding what you're going to talk about week in and week out, having the biggest solar system possible made a lot of sense. And there was some comfort in it by going with hourly to exit, everything from that entire journey to selling the business. And so it made a ton of sense. But now, as my work with you has developed, getting feedback from you, hearing the things that you're worried about, the questions that you have, it has made it really clear that my focus should be really digging in on the protection of your expertise. Now, the future content will emit from a single bright star, and that is how to protect your expertise so that you can grow legally, safely, and profitably. And those three elements, growing legally, we think about, do I own what I think I own? And if I don't own it, do I have the rights to use it? Very important to make sure that you have the legal rights to use the elements in your training or product. And I talk about the increased risk when we move from one-on-one services to one to several to one to many. So it's really important to make sure we have the legal rights to use those elements safely. We want to be able to get our ideas out there without losing control of them. People play small because they're afraid people are going to steal their stuff. How do we make sure that you can grow safely? And we want to make sure we have the protections in place to make sure that our competitors and our clients aren't using or reusing our work without our permission or without getting paid for it. And then we want to be able to grow profitably. That's when we get the leverage piece. How do we create income streams that are decoupled from our time? And the only way to do that, of course, is through intellectual property assets. That is our profitability piece. So for old time's sake, before I retire the hourly to exit title completely, I wanted to give you an update on what's happening in Think Beyond IP and kind of going through the hourly to exit self-assessment. So I was looking in my notes, and the last time I did this was February 2022. Where did the last 2.5 years go? If you are not familiar, the hourly to exit self-assessment is a beautiful graphic. I'm going to share my screen if you're watching this on YouTube that has it. But if you don't have it, if you're listening to this on audio only, I will have links to it in the show notes. And of course, anywhere you find the podcast on YouTube, on LinkedIn, it is a graphic that illustrates through 19 different variables what the indicators are where you are on that hourly to exit journey. Are you still at that unsustainable freelance model, or have you moved along to a more sustainable expertise-based model, all the way to the fully saleable, complete independence from the owner, ownership of assets that can be sold, revenue visibility, client diversity, all sorts of good things. And so that is what it looks at. So where is Think Beyond IP on this journey? And here are the 19 variables. Starting from unsustainable, the freelancer model, operator model, CEO model, and legacy model. And these are kind of your mindsets. What kind of business are you thinking of yourself as? So where am I? Right now, I am moving from the operator mindset to the CEO mindset. And why am I kind of stuck here? I am a lawyer and I am the only lawyer in my business. I absolutely have a team. I depend on them very much, but I'm kind of stuck here so long as I am the only lawyer providing legal services. But what I am transitioning to is really building out my team, especially with respect to the things that I don't have to be a lawyer for, that you don't have to be a lawyer for. I am still doing too much of the marketing and too much, frankly, of the sales. And so I am going to build a marketing and sales function that requires less of me and lets me kind of stay up here at the CEO level. On the authority, I am viewed as a business partner. Actually, I just kind of mentioned earlier the way I think about working with business coaches and exit planners is that I'm not just the lawyer, but I'm also the person that can help get results for the end clients. They recognize as an authority. Obviously, I do this stuff all the time. I talk everywhere and creating more content to help build the authority. I like to think that when I look at niche and specialization, that I really have, unlike many lawyers, created this niche of expertise-based business, especially those who work with corporate clients. I have my career. I've been working with large corporate clients, so I really understand their issues and obviously the intellectual property issues as well. So both niche and specialization, I do think I am working my way into the authority there. The business model, this is a tough one again because of the legal service. The legal services. I do have some productized services that are solution based, but in some ways they're also time based. And that is something that I am working on, is really to get away from any time based solutions. I don't bill hourly, but I do sometimes price things with a rough estimate of how long it will take. Not completely, but there's something in there that still gets me. So I am working on completely decoupling my pricing from time. My exclusivity, as we speak, I'm developing a number of products that will be available for sale that will be exclusive to me. And so I will register them for copyright protection, and those will be mine. They will have enough creativity that they're eligible for copyright protection. And so I'm definitely working on the saleable end for that. For visibility, definitely better. I can pretty much predict how many leads I'm going to get and understand what my sales will be. I don't have complete visibility because it's definitely referral based. I'm very referral based, or people who will follow me for a while and then they'll be ready. So it's not something that I can turn on and off. Like you can, like someone who has a very large audience, they can kind of turn it on. They can say, okay, I'm launching something, and they can turn it on and they can have it. And I don't have that yet. I'm in the scalable right now. Standardization. This is a big part of creating my team. And I am the worst at this, but that's what the team is for. And we have lots of SOPs that we're putting in place and standardizing some issues. So I'm feeling pretty good. We're not manuals. Well, I guess, if it's digital, it's in ClickUp. I guess that makes it a manual. We're kind of between scalable and saleable here. Absolutely. Professional liability insurance is a must when you're a lawyer. And then also risk mitigation. That's something that I think about as I have products that provide legal education, but don't provide legal services. So that is definitely part of the next stage. I did it again. Delegation. Also, my revenue generating tasks are mostly legal services. I'm the only lawyer. So as I develop products that don't require me and a team that can sell them, I will definitely be moving over from scalable to saleable. Client concentration. Again, the more variety of the ways you can engage with me, the more diverse my client base will be. If it's only me, then there's a certain, fee involved with that. I'm going to have fewer clients. But as I have more variety of offers, then my client base will get more diverse. Profitability. Increases in revenue results in increases in profitability. There are ways to do that also while providing one-on-one services. I can still increase my profitability by having those productized services. The better I get at them, the more efficiently I can deliver them, the more I can read my clients' minds and get to the solution quicker, and that increases profit. So it's not just about products, it's also just about becoming more efficient. Always sign contracts, and I do have standardized ones as well. Effective use of automation. I realized that I created this, 2.5 years ago before AI was really a thing. And I do have implemented some AI in my business, mostly regarding when I think about some of my content. I use it as a starting point. Obviously, my voice and what gets published is different than what I got out of AI. But I do use it. I use it to think through some things sometimes. I'm not anti-AI, as you know, and you can effectively use automation. Expertise-based services. Yes, that is absolutely what I am working on, both in what I provide directly to clients and in the products that I will be developing. A standardized sales pipeline and process. That is something that I'm working on. That will be part of the marketing team that's coming on that will get a better process in place. Leveraged business model. Yeah, I left behind the hourly based a while ago. So I do have the leveraged business model through kind of having productized services. I still tend to, like, someone needs something that's a little bit custom, I'll still do that. We're working with corporate clients. You're a B2B client with corporate clients, and the issues regarding your copyright, protecting your expertise. I'm still sticking in that so I can create leveraged business models around that. And paid upon engagement. All my engagements, you pay me in advance to book the time, and my income decoupled from founder's time. It's not completely decoupled from my time, again, because I'm the only lawyer. So as I move into some of these other offerings, then I will be moving over there as well. So again, you can get this assessment on the website and all the places. If you can't find it, just email me and we'll get it to you. So have a wonderful summer. I'm looking forward to coming back with some new ideas in the fall. Of course, I'm always happy to hear your ideas and what you'd like to hear more of. And thanks again for hanging out with me for the last 100 episodes. And don't forget, IP is fuel.